Sounds good.
All right, so let's see. I had a couple of things I wanted to go through. I know Corins wanted me to go through some of their stuff too, but they're not here yet. So we'll start off with Mr. Ashmore. He had asked about the. So I'm going to quote the page in the book. I think it was 149 or 169. There aren't 69 pages in this book.
Yeah.
It was the overlay thing. You remember what page it was?
Yeah, it's 117, 118, somewhere around
There you go. That's a little more reasonable. Oh, it's a rescripting sequence. So with regards to sequence rescripting, guys, and I'm only gonna sit here for a minute, and I'm gonna get up and do something. He was asking about the overlay because in this one.
But I think it was back where it mentions on 116 where it talks about the 154. Let's see.
Yeah. Now I remember.
Yeah, it's right above that.
Gotta try and find it.
It's on 116, middle of the page.
Okay. The next technique I'll explain utilizing rescripting alternating basis. The process, however, is a fun one as I have developed it. The delayed sword rescript was simply the technique within its own motion and sequence modified to acquire a different meaning and result from the motion. The alternating basis technique. Oh, the one before that. Okay, so the chapter before that, Brett's waiting to get back in. Hold on. Hey, Brett, we lost you, buddy. You there? You're muted.
Sorry about that.
Don't be. It's all good.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi wanted to switch over to Xfinity, and I don't know why it does that.
No, because Xfinity wants you to switch over to Xfinity. They want to regulate you. Anyway, so we found the chapter. You're back just in time. In chapter 6, we saw an example of sequence rescripting used to find a choke guillotine from the alternate application of the technique lone kimono. And looking at this technique, page 84 and 85, we can see how the very techniques themselves are rescripts of other techniques. Does that make sense? And when I say rescript, Robert, basically that just means that I'm using the same motion. And oh, hey, Tanner's here. Hold on, I'll let him in. Okay, let's get rid of this. Okay, so whoop, get rid of that bald guy glasses. So to finish up the answer on Mr. Ashmore's question, so when you look in the book and you look at some of the rescripting seminars that I've done, I talk about things like delayed sword. The easiest example, and it's the one that's most prevalent in the videos that I show, or that you can see on YouTube, all of the seminars, is that the motion of delayed sword, doing that same exact motion, that same outward hand sword here, it's exactly the same motion. What we're doing is we're redefining what it is. That you understand. What I meant was, if I take every technique in the system, all 154 techniques in the system, and I overlay them over delayed sword, for example, if I take captured twigs, okay? Delayed sword is a grab, is a lapel grab, traditionally, right? So if captured twigs that doesn't make any sense. But if I take captured twigs and I step off to the side and I punch to the rib and I hook that arm coming back and trap it or collapse it, it's hard to imagine here, right? And then I hook that head and I do my hammer fist to the groin, then it takes it into a whole different application of that motion. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so the point was, Mr. Ashmore, that if we take now if I take clutching feathers and I see how that can apply to delayed sword, or if I take twirling hammers and I see how that can apply to delayed sword. You know, all of those, and now maybe it's on the other side of the technique that I'm using twirling hammers. You know, and some of them work, some of them don't, and it really depends on what are you looking for, right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So I don't know if I answered your question, your original question that you had with regard to, you know, kind of what is all that? Is that?
Yeah, you did, as far as what we're trying to do. It's just a matter now of understanding what it does for you, you know, with 154 options. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so it's not meant to be another massive pile of information. What it's certainly not meant to be for the student. I'm not going to give that to one of the brown belts to say, hey, this is your new assignment. Go check out all 154 techniques into delayed sword, or go do all 154 techniques into alternating mazes, right? I might give that to Mr. Nicewonger and say, hey, start working on this and understand, you know, how your system, you know, the system of Kenpo, and really any system of martial art, even Shotokan, Tanner. So if you took, and I learned this years and years ago, teaching a seminar for a Shotokan class, okay, and prepping for it and teaching Bobby Matt a lot of different applications. And what I did was I looked at their Shotokan forms, you know, Han, Nidon, blah, 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 what I can't remember any of them. And I would look at what that motion was and give them a completely different application for that, some based on what I knew from Kenpo and some based on what I could see an alternate application, or what they call bunkai, for that motion, right? Some of it was striking, and then sometimes I would take that same exact striking motion and turn it into locking or controls, choke strangulations, or throws. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And this isn't something that is going to happen, you know, overnight and tomorrow. It's something that you can kind of put on your brain and say, well, I know this can happen, and occasionally you'll recognize something and you go, hey, wait a minute, that's such and such a motion, and that's a totally different application for it. And I know that you already do that, Mr. Ashmore, Mr. Ashmore, I know you do it too. It's just that this is a means to do it intentionally, to kind of explore what's available.
Okay, that actually cleared it up, that last statement. So even more so, if that makes sense.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions about that? I'll take that as a great big fat no. All right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Corin, Tanner, you're working on. Oh, wait a minute. Let's get through kicking set 3. We're gonna stretch out. All right, kicking set 3. So this may be different than well, you don't have a kicking set 3, Mr. Ashmore. You would have a 2.
2, yes, sir.
And yours are both in a square pattern, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we have actually 4. One Mr. Rainey created, which is what we call Tiger Dragon Kicking Set 1, or we just call it Kicking Set 1 now. The second one is closely matched to what you have as your first kicking set. The second one would be, I think, is probably pretty much nothing like what you have for your second kicking set.
Okay.
After looking at everything and reviewing some other people, kicking sets aren't easy to find on the internet.
Right.
Because a lot of people suck at kicking, especially in Kenpo. So they don't show themselves kicking very often. Hell, half of them can't even do footwork or stances. So anyway, that's a whole nother story. So our kicking set 3 is considerably different than the traditional kicking set 2. Okay, so Brett, kicking set 3, you want to go over side 2 and, I'm sorry, side 3 and 4, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so I'm going to do this. I'm just going to do this in a line going this way, and then I'll turn and do it in a line going this way as best as possible so you get both views.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So side 3 starts out, let's see, side 3 starts out in a left neutral bow. So we're going to do that spinning reverse step through sweep. We're going to do that step through sweep. Okay. And then we're going to spin, hooking heel, pulling roundhouse. Let's go make sure I'm still in the video. Okay. Then we go round, pull, pull, boom, and then left cover step. Okay. I don't know if you can see all that.
Yeah, I could.
Is it? I can't tell you how far because when I'm looking at the TV, I look like I'm in perfect view now, and out here I look like Ant-Man.
I mean, we can see you all the time when you're close up. Oh.
Yeah, I have it blown up. I have you blown up on the full screen.
Oh, nothing like a big fat bastard, Durgan.
I don't know about that, but
Sweet. Well, I'm glad it's tiny on my screen. Okay, so we'll go one more time. So side 2, we're in a left neutral. We're going to do that spinning reverse step through sweep. Okay, step through sweep, and when we did, I'm going to do that facing this way. So I'm going to do my spinning reverse step through sweep, and then my step through sweep. Now notice that when I do that step through sweep, it's circular, and I'm going to come into the center line. Okay, not past the center line for the set. Now, if I were doing a step through sweep in reality, I would want to probably get all the way through the center line and then come into whatever it is that I'm doing beyond that. That makes sense?
yep.
Okay. So we get through that step through sweep. Then our next move, we're going to spin, hooking heel, pulling roundhouse combination, right? Then it goes 1, 2, 3 combination with a low, middle, high, right? And we got that cover step. Well, okay. Any questions so far? Anybody?
Nope.
Oh, we're waiting for somebody's on the horn here trying to get on. Who is that? I think that might be our friends in Seattle. Hello?
Hello. Hello.
Who is it?
It's William Corin.
Oh, Corin. What, are you on your phone?
I'm on my phone.
Well, we're recording this, so it'll be available to you on the website.
So I'll hop off then.
What's that?
I'll hop off then.
And Tanner's also on. So I will go through your stuff.
Okay.
I'll go through your stuff for you anyway and have it on here.
Okay.
Okay? And then you can watch the recorded version or catch up when you get home.
Okay, that sounds great. Thank you, sir.
You bet. Drive safe.
Okay, bye. Thank you, bye.
Cool. All right. Back to kicking set 3. So side 4, Brett, we're good with side 2, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So side 3, or I'm sorry, side 4, we're in our, where are we at? We're in our left neutral bow again, okay? We're going to execute, we're going to go step back, circling back kick. So it's a step back, circle back kick. And I'm going to do this one going this way too, so after I get through this way. Facing this way, okay? So I do my step back, circle back kick. Now it doesn't really ever extend. Again, this is like a sickle. It stays bent the whole time. In reality, if I were doing this, I would circle around here and then extend and then come back. But we're just going to do a step back, spinning, circle back kick. Okay? From that point, we do our, what happened? Back. I was in the wrong stance. From a right neutral bow. From a right neutral bow, my bad. Okay? It's a step back, circle back kick. Then I have a step through, and I'm going to step through, kind of like I'm stepping through with that step through sweep, okay, into my stiff leg spinning heel kick, okay. So this thing is brutal on my hip right now, but it's going to step through, spinning heel, boom, and then all the way back. Jump, roundhouse, step through side, side, with the lockout, and close. Maybe I should have stretched out a little bit before I did this. All right. Quit laughing, Billy. Hold on, I gotta fix the mats. All right. So one more time. Here, take your socks off. This isn't working out. Just a break. No, I'm super not fond of this. I hate demonstrating crap, by the way. As you, most of my people know. Okay, kicking step 3, side 4. So I step back, circle back kick, step through, spinning heel, jumping roundhouse, side side, boom, and from this angle. So we're in our right neutral ball. Okay, we're going to side 4, step back, circle back kick, boom, step through, spinning heel, jump, round, step through, side side, low high. I'm going to close here because we're finishing the square. You get all that, Brett?
Sir, thank you, sir.
All right, so what I'll do is at some point I'll just put that whole set together and complete so that you'll have it as in the library on the website. Okay. Any questions on kick set 3? Anybody? No?
No.
All right. So let's talk about, let's see, mass attack. Oh, I do my book. Really? Sorry, guys. One second. So I'm going to show you this first because I because we have the technology. Let's see. Okay, so this is pretty cool. If I go to Google Drive, and that's not right. Hold on. Okay, so the mass attack outlines for, can you guys see that?
Yes.
For green. So we're going to finish up. So Mr. Corn was wondering about as we finish up blue with crashing elbows. Okay. Oh, this is old. This is in the wrong place. My bad. That's not going to work. How old is this? This might be better. Nope, wrong one. It's not going to work either. Okay. Hold tight. Oh, you know what? Here you go. Here's something you guys want to, this is what everybody wants. This is, if you look at this, can you read this, everybody?
Yes.
Yeah, I can see
Basically,
it.
So this is if you notice over here or down here, how many pages that is?
171.
Yeah. So it has the mission statement, note from blah, precepts. This is the system basically. Little homage to Parker. Kenpo sayings, has terminology, has yellow belt, hoobud, and freestyles, has the adult forms of sets, star block. Now I realize, Brett, that this is PKI, but eventually you'll get there, right?
Eventually.
Okay, so then it has the techniques related. Notice, Robert, how I've used the web of knowledge.
Yes, sir.
All right, so I'm trying to keep a little bit of that because it's important. Basically what it does is it keeps me honest, right? Oh, you know what? I want to show. Hold on. I don't know how to do this. Oh, here we go. Annotate spotlight. Yeah. Can you see my little? There you go. You can see that now.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. So it keeps me. It keeps me. I don't know what that is. Oh man, it got rid of it. Hold on. Sorry. Okay. So it keeps me honest with regard to the order, right? And what's you know, and the order that they're taught and learned and should be learned in according to the book of oil. All right, anyway, so then we have mass attacks. I'm just kind of giving you guys a preview of this because I'm going to get into this other stuff here in a second. Goes through your 9 techniques that are required with the attacks, and then the written version of the technique with the attribute. So it calls out the attribute, what it is, or what category it is, and then goes through the description of what the attribute is. And talks about the timing of the attribute, when it should be started, or when it should be practiced. If you notice, Robert and Tanner and the other Corin, William, when you're looking at this video, if you look at this, it talks about the timing for these attributes and this attribute training. And Brett, if you look on your old sheet, your old book that you have, your technique and requirement sheet, down at the bottom of the I believe it's the basics, right? Or the groups of basics, there's a little yin yang sign, and it says you need to practice these thrusting, snapping, so on and so forth. Well, this is kind of the same idea. It calls out the timing, and it says that the training, the attribute training should be practiced in all 3 phases: before, during, and after the attack or technique execution. Now, that doesn't mean that it works for all 3 phases, but we should be looking at whether we can apply it in all 3 phases or at all 3 phases. Does that make sense?
Yep.
I think Billy just turned his phone on and threw it on the nightstand there and went and played with the kid. I'm kidding.
No way, I'm still here, sir.
I know, I'm just messing with you. Did we lose somebody again? We did. Oh, we lost Tanner. Tanner, what happened? We lost you, man. I didn't see that we lost you.
It says he's still there.
Yeah, well, he wasn't though. We lost him.
Okay.
Sorry, Tanner. I didn't see it. We're gone. You there? I don't know. Maybe he's trying to log in. Anyway, well, he missed that whole spiel. I don't know how long he's been gone. Tanner, how much of that did you hear? Tanner,
Oh, can you hear me now, sir?
how much did you hear about what I was talking about with the attribute and all that?
I missed about the last half.
The last half.
Yeah, I got a little bit of it, and then I did the thing, so my computer kicked me off. Well, it was my Zoom closed, so I had to restart it and request.
That sucks. Well, next time I'll set the permissions so you guys can join automatically. I have it set up so I have to allow you in, and I don't know how to change that right now. So I'll figure that out. Anyway, so what I was saying was the attributes down here. If you look at this, talks about how the attribute works, what it is, how it works, yada yada, what category, trapping, locking, takedown, and then it talks about timing. Excuse me, timing for the attribute. It should be practiced in all three phases. Excuse me, meaning before, during, or after the attack. Now, as I was saying, it doesn't mean that it's practical or that it's going to work in all three phases, but we need to at least look at and explore that. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. That's not something we're going to do. It's not something you would do for yellow belt. That's something that you would do, maybe in blue and green. We go back and we start looking at that and say, or as a teacher, I might say, well, let's see. And I think I have on a couple of the techniques said, as you're learning the attribute, well, we can actually apply this before we do anything else. Like, for example, delayed sword, the attribute can be applied immediately. You don't have to wait to go through the technique, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So moving on, when getting down to the mass attack. So this is basically the basic combatives integrated system in writing, with the arrangement, organization of all the stuff. Mr. Ashmore, no, I do not expect you to remember or go back and retrain in an entirely new system after 40 years of martial arts. That's entirely up to you. You can pick it up, drop it, let it go, implement it into your own current Kenpo system that you have as desired or as wanted or as needed. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, at no time do I expect that from you. It would be cool, but mostly cool for you. All right. So we get to orange. I haven't gotten all the junior stuff ironed out yet. Obviously, this document isn't complete because I haven't released it to anybody. I am diligently working on it though, and I'm actually basically trying to shut everything else that I'm doing down so that I can diligently work on this and get it completed. Because it is important. Hold on. Where's my... Huh. There is no video of me. Hold on a second. Oh. That'll scare you, won't it? Hold on. Hold on. All right, back to what we were doing. Boom. Okay. So again, okay, so now we get into, and I'm kind of sharing this with everybody because this is a good time to do it. I have it on the screen, and this really is kind of our maiden voyage for this whole online thing. I'll have a better lesson plan coming into this on Tuesday. And I also, though, want you guys to, before Tuesday, email me with your questions and requests of techniques to go, oh, that's who we're missing, Sean. We're missing Mr. Stanley. Anyway, I'll have to reach out to him and see if he's doing okay. You know what? I think I forgot to put him on the list. Dang it. Okay. Sorry, I got sidetracked. So techniques with related and removed. You see that? So that's important for, say, Mr. Nicewanger or Tanner when you're teaching this system, right? Because you can go back after you go to black, you're going to be picking up these techniques by name, right? And by then I will have renamed them all to the Face of Combatives name. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But the ones in blue are the ones that I removed from the required 81, or, you know, from the techniques required for facing combatives. But they're important and they're relative later on as you start to experiment and delve deeper into the system to understand things, and you can connect more dots with these techniques. It's just that there's so much. Anyway, so what I did was the ones that were removed at each belt level, or the ones that were removed at each belt level, if they were not moved to the next belt level or shuffled around to the next area, then they were left here in blue. And so it's the same way in every belt level. Now you notice that it did not happen that way in yellow, because chopping fist, or sword and hammer to you, Robert, was moved to orange to be the first technique. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. So then there's our mass attack for orange. If you haven't figured out how to read this yet, the arrows point in the direction that you're being attacked from. So chopping fist, for example, sword and hammer, the attack is from 12 o'clock, which puts you facing 6 o'clock basically. Well, and this is just for those who don't know, what that means is that the yellow belt mass attack finished at facing 6 o'clock basically, right? Oh, where's my yellow belt? Oh, it's way up, way up, way up, way up, way up. Hold tight. So it finished with attacking ram from, if you look in here, from this angle, from 430. So you're basically facing 730 when you finish the technique, and then chopping fist or sword and hammer comes in. They grab you from 12 o'clock. You go back. You do your technique. Does that make sense? Whoops, got a little carried away there. So I'm going to go through. I'm going to see if I can remember it. I'll go through the yellow belt mass attack. You've seen that before, right, Robert? Hello? Who did I lose? Nobody.
Don't think you lost anybody, no.
All right.
You were kind of quiet though when you were standing up. It was hard to hear what you said over the noise.
Oh, I'm gonna go through the yellow belt mass attack to lead in to the slow, so Mr. Ashmore can see it, to lead into the orange, to show kind of how that works moving into that chopping fist. Let me open my other book over here though, so I can cheat. Because while I may have put these together, I certainly haven't necessarily got them memorized yet. You know what? You might want to be able to see me, huh? Oh, you can still see me, right?
Yeah.
You can still see me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just have to physically click the video picture view, not the screen share version of you.
Yeah. So if everybody that wants to see this, double click on the Kenpo Guy Productions video where you can see me, eye waving at you, and then that'll bring that up on your screen. We'll go back to that book in a second. Okay, so for the yellow belt mass attack, and I'm going to start facing this way so you can get the gist of this. I can't see myself though. So it starts off with delayed chop, and then goes to rolling maces, boom, and then chop of destruction, deflecting pendulum, captured or constricting twigs, death grasp. Let's see, the death grasp. Hold on. Death grasp. Checking the club. Boom, boom, boom. I'm still on the screen. I keep wanting to go to Tiger Dragon Form 1. Boom. Here. Okay. And I'm back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is where if 12 o'clock is here, this is where my yellow belt mass attack ends. Now the idea
is that they're all strung together. And for my people, I know this is kind of a repeat, but for Mr. Ashmore, he's getting to physically see this. So they're all strung together. So if I'm moving through this, let's say in a belt test, which Tanner and William have done already now, my next guy's going to grab me here. I'm going to come back for chopping fist, right, and then move into my next techniques in my orange belt mass attack. That make sense?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
All right, so the problem with this is going to be the recording portion. I think I need to because I'm recording this. This is going to be really, I have to make sure that I put this back and forth. So I don't know how this first recording is going to go, guys, to be honest.
Are you gonna like post the recording as in like the recording of the Zoom meeting, or are you gonna like cut it up and put it as like a YouTube video kind of thing?
No, I'm just going to straight post this Zoom meeting because see, I don't know. I haven't pulled the recording yet to see, does it keep these windows separate in a recording, or does it have all this stuff bunched up into one window, and you're going to have to squint and look closely at this tiny little Todd Durgan doing kicking set 3 or doing, mass attacks. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
There we go. Found it. Okay, so this is the spotlight video feature. Awesome. Can everybody see that big? What did that do to my video, my ugly mug?
I don't think it changed.
Oh, it didn't change anything for you?
Nope.
Still the same.
Okay, but it did for me. So this is important because I'm hoping that this does the recording the way I want it to. I hope. All right. So we'll do mass attack. William was asking about blue belt mass attack into the green belt mass attack, and then we'll wrap up with any questions, observations about how this is going to work out, the session and all that. Sound good? Uh-oh. Except that I don't have my green belt
Yeah,
mass
they
attack.
do.
So I'm not sure. I'm going to find Mr. Corrin's question, and I don't know where he sent it to me. Well, that'll be interesting. Or when, where or when. Yeah, okay. Well, that sucks. Yeah, I don't know where or when he sent me that question. Might have been on my phone, which would really suck because my phone's being used to record this right now. So I believe he was asking about the transition from crashing elbows to the, oh, damn it, Jim, to the darting mace and snapping elbow. So shooting bear, Robert, and for the other regular Kenpo people, shooting bear is a charging ram technique, right? I realize that a ram puts its head down and charges, and that's great, but they don't grab you. And so that's why I renamed these with bear techniques, because a bear will charge and grab you to tackle you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Not that I'm doubting or questioning Mr. Parker at all, because his thing worked for him. Okay, so not shooting bear, crashing elbows. So crashing elbows into
Man, I'm blind. Darting ram.
So crashing elbows was basically we were here in this shield and blade, right? At the end of that, we get crashed from here, okay? And so they come in, drive us forward, boom, we drop, come around, hammer, okay? This gets grabbed, okay? And I'm basically gonna step up, drive, boom, 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 into this, and then come up off into snapping elbow. Okay. So one more time, I'll do that facing this way so you can see if I can keep it straight in my brain. So I just finished finishing shield and blade here. Okay. Boom. I get jump for crashing wings here. Come here. Boom. Now this hand, as I'm coming here and hammer, this hand gets grabbed. Boom. So I'm going to come up in, not crossing town, my bad. So I'm going to come up in here, pop, 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 and then back off for snapping twig. Okay, or snapping, whatever I called it. Elbow, snapping elbow. Oi. Okay, Tanner, you got anything?
At the moment, sir, no.
Any questions or anything? And it's this really hard to do air Kenpo like this. Oh, Brett,
That's just, that
that's
was
for
fun.
you.
It's cool that we can see the different things that you're showing us, though.
Yeah, so let's have a quick discussion about how this is going without my bald spot hanging out. And whoops. And we'll wrap up with any other questions or any other questions or anything. Let me get this finished. Do you guys have anything else you need or want to see?
At the moment, sir, no. Because my dad and I are trying to work a little bit more at home. So if anything comes up this weekend, we'll let you know for next class.
Yeah, so and listen guys, don't be afraid to I don't care if you're suited up or not, but don't be afraid to pop on here on video, show me something, and let's go through it. That's kind of the whole idea of even bothering with this. Otherwise we could just talk on the phone. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think I'll try to figure out how I can get it working so my dad and I can do it, or at least one of us can. So I'll set something up at my house.
Well, so what I did was I put my phone is actually connected as Kenpo Guy Productions, and my laptop is sitting in front of me
As the Todd Durgan.
as Todd Durgan.
Okay.
So if I turn this on,
We get two pictures of you.
and turn that off. Okay, so now this is just my laptop video. So now we can have this discussion. But see the difference in the clarity of the video?
Yeah. It's a big difference.
Now you see why I was so adamant about using my phone
Yeah.
instead of using this.
Exactly. Okay.
So, all right. Robert, you got any? Mr. Ashmore, you got anything?
No, I'm good. No, you covered what I was asking about, and it was good to see the other things in motion.
Yeah, so the other thing I wanted to do, and I'm glad that you guys are mostly all here, is I do want to officially introduce you guys to Robert Ashmore. He's a 5th degree down in California. He's our vice president of the association. He's actually, he bought my book and a couple posters quite a few years ago, and we've been developing a long-lasting and steadfast relationship and friendship ever since. He kind of came on board with the, well, he did. He came on board with the Dave Hebler Association, and then decided he was okay when, you know, Hebler closed his thing. He would stay on as part of our thing. So we're really glad to have you on. Mr. Ashmore also does the all the maintenance and posting for me on Facebook and for our Instagram page. So,
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yep. It's glad to be here.
so the follow-up to that is for the association, or the alliance, I should say, I would like, you know, if you have a Facebook page or Instagram or whatever, if you guys can share the, you know, share the pages around, and, you know, try and help us get a little bit of visibility. I don't want to grow a fast, I don't want to be a fast grown association. I don't want to have a monstrous organization overnight. I don't really want to have a monstrous organization at all, and I don't want to have a bunch of crappy Kenpo black belts or any other people under us or with us or joining us unless they're coming to us to help, to get help. But I would like to have some, you know, various satellite schools off and around some other places. That's who else we're missing, Mr. Brady and Mr. Sean and Mr. Brady. Oh, well. Okay. And Mr. Nicewanger is the Northwest representative for the Alliance, although he doesn't have a patch yet. And he's busy raising 2 kids and taking care of his wife. So not a lot of call for responsibility or anything to do just yet anyway. So. All right, awesome. So for for Tuesday, we'll be doing the same thing. Like I said, I'll send out a new invite. I did pay the money for for this program to make sure that we could do this. I'll get you the unique identifier for my account, which will be the same from then forward for all of our meetings, I believe. This is by far the most productive online session that we've had, in my opinion. And yeah. So if you guys have any questions, comments about how this all went, any thing different you'd like to see happen or we could set up?
No, this is great. I think we will. And so once I get some stuff figured on my end, I think it'll be perfect to do from home.
Yeah. Okay. So Brett, for you, for example, you know, feel free to get your butt in front of the camera and next week and ask questions about techniques, you know, does it go this way or that way? Because everybody benefits from this. And this is the thing about doing a group thing instead of just doing private things, is that, you know, as long as we can make it work and everybody's good with it, you know, this benefits everybody that's on, not just the one person that I'm answering questions for if we're doing a private. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Everybody's muted.
Yep.
You're all drinking and smoking and having a good time.
Partying behind your back.
I don't care. I made my essential run to the store today. All right, awesome. Thanks, guys. I guess I may be doing a virtual class for Mr. Hermanson. Not Mr. Hermanson, I'm sorry. Mr. Herman for his Seattle class on Friday of next week. So I'm not sure how that's going to go. It'll be his deal though. So I don't know if you guys can jump in on that or not. And I have zero idea what I'm going to be teaching. Actually, I'll probably go through 2-man sets or something. I don't know. It's a crapshoot.
Well, it's nice to know some things never change.
Well, you know, I'll be honest with you. You know, that it's new people showing up there all the time. So, and you know, it's a cycle. I've been teaching 2-man set there since what, 2000 and I don't know, 12.
I know, that's why I said that, because I've been with you doing it.
Well, yeah, I know, right? Yeah, it's like, yeah, okay, well, we'll do this again. Yep, been doing it for a while up there. All right. Cool. Anything else to add, anybody?
Not for me.
No? So has everybody, I do want to ask you real quick. Let's see, share screen. Has everybody seen these videos? The overlay videos?
On your YouTube.
Yeah, so these are the ones that are, these are actually, well, these ones are, I'm sorry, these ones are public. I have, let's see. One second. It's the other ones. For the universal pattern? Oh no, they've made it to YouTube. You haven't signed into the, if you sign into the website, for example, levers and leverage. So if we go to unlisted, here we go. This one, for example. So what you're seeing right now is my dashboard on my YouTube. I think you're seeing it. I don't know. Dashboard on my YouTube. So this is the PKI system universal stick sets, right?
Yeah.
You guys have seen these through the website? Oh. Huh. Nope, not that one. Hold up. Yeah, that one's on there though. This one's on there, I think. Anyway, just yeah. There's a lot of stuff on the website, and you know, all of these meetings. Oh crap, I was gonna stop recording this.